Hello, everybody. Welcome to the webinar on how you can be prepared for cyber attacks in a way that will keep you and your organization protected from all kind of attacks. Okay, this is actually a part of the 9 webinar series that we are doing on various topics of cybersecurity. We called this as the Cybersecurity Thought Olympics. And this is where you can learn about multiple cybersecurity technologies. And today we have the best in the business, Cyberbit, in terms of cyber simulation attacks, and so on and so forth. I think they are the global leaders for this. So thanks, Shiraz and Gamal, for coming in today. And by the way, all of you, please wish Shiraz a birthday, happy birthday. It's his birthday. So
Thank
happy
you.
birthday, Gamal. Sorry, Shiraz, and have a great life and give us a great webinar on the occasion of your birthday. The next slide, please. Okay, so Dipesh and Shiraz are well-known cybersecurity professionals in the Middle East. I'll just introduce you about Shiraz first. He's somebody with 14 years of experience and is a technology lead, and he has got a number of cybersecurity certifications. Dipesh is a cybersecurity consultant, and he's worked with multiple banks and insurance companies along with oil and gas majors. So we're going to have real big horsepower here. And of course, we have Gamal, who is also a very senior cybersecurity professional, and he's worked across and he's immersed in the Middle East cybersecurity business. So between the three of them, I think we have a total of about 30 to 40 years of cybersecurity experience at our service. So please go ahead and ask all the questions that you need. Thanks, and it feels great to have a big full house. Shiraz, all yours, my friend. Take it on.
Thank you, Mukund. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining today's webinar. I'm glad to see you today. Today we are going to have an interactive session. I want to set an expectation. So the topic today we have picked is the cyber attack will happen, undoubtedly, because cyber attack is now inevitable. And unless you have the right cyber defense strategy, this is what makes you shining. So from an agenda perspective, we are going to talk about the evolving cyber threat landscape. We'll also touch upon how you are building your cyber ready team and what is missing in order to produce a next generation cyber talent, and how Cyberbit as a company will help the organization to achieve the cyber resilience. We'll also discuss about the success criteria for the criteria for you to succeed, and we'll discuss about one of the case study, and we will be looking at the live platform, because I believe once you see, you will believe, right? And we can have question and answers. Let's try to make it more interactive. I don't want to be at the end of the sessions. In case if you have any questions on each slide, please use the chat option so we can make it more interactive. Thank you. Moving to next slide. So I want to talk about the cyber threat landscape, which has outpaced the current industry's capabilities. And this is due to multiple reasons. Before that, I wanted to start about cybersecurity as an industry has evolved a lot in this 10 years period. This is due to the attacks, cyber criminals we're talking about, and this is becoming more exciting for the new joiners who is willing to pursue their career in cybersecurity. But on the other hand, this is also bringing more and more problems for organizations to ignore growing digital threats. And this is due to the number of facts. So what I'm showing you on a screen, there are like some facts coming from one of the threat intelligence report published by CloudSec recently this year. So definitely there are a number of facts like the cyber criminals are increasing much faster. The attacks are becoming more and more sophisticated in nature. Attacks like ransomware, file-based attack, in-memory attack, advanced persistent threat. These are some of the names I'm mentioning. I'm sure you already have heard about this. attacks. But what they're trying to do here is to aim an organization. They wanted to disrupt the business operations. They wanted to target the country critical infrastructures, impacting the organization. All this is bringing a real concern and a challenge on your existing cyber defense teams, how they are going to cope up with this ever-evolving cyber attack dynamics. On the other hand, we are also seeing a lot of boom. We are talking about AI. We are talking about Internet of Things. So these are good. This is making world more connected. But on the other hand, this is giving an opportunity for the criminal to launch an attack. So, so all this, what I have mentioned here, this is seriously required the large enterprise, the government customers to rethink how they are going to bring the next generation cyber warrior to address this concern. So there is a serious gap when it comes to cybersecurity professional in the market, and this is something you can aim for. If I look at the statistics as of today, the Middle East is experiencing a lot of cyber attack compared to the previous years, with especially focus on UAE and then KSA, Saudi. There has been increase in the cloud attack because of the more and more adoption of the cloud services. All organizations, be if it is banking or a government, they are somehow using cloud applications, right? So this is becoming a more vulnerable point for us. And in the latest report, the attack in the cloud side has been increased by 48% between 2022 to 2024 and 2024. No doubt, ransomware is on the rise. It's now like a board level directives, right? We are seeing ransomware attack everywhere in news. Some organization have been breached due to ransomware incident. So this has been increased by 73% between 2022 and 2023. So this is a big jump. So this is a serious threat for our region. AI powered attack is also taking place. So now cyber criminals, they are very smart. They are adopting AI because this makes life very simpler, right? When it comes to automating and accelerating the different phases of cyber attack, because they are using machine learning capabilities. They are using a lot of automation process, and the best part of this is that you can easily analyze the target. You can predict the vulnerabilities, and you can exploit the weaknesses. So this is something also jumping big time. So these are some of the evolving threats I wanted to discuss. But the key message here is 50% of the organization across the Middle East, not only specifically I'm talking from a UAE standpoint, but 50% of the Middle East organization, they are really facing a crisis. They are looking actively for cybersecurity professionals to address this evolving threat. I'm going to next slide. I wanted to talk about 5 key security threats to our region. And this is very, very important. Let me start with the state-sponsored hacktivists. This is one of the primary contributors to escalating the threat landscape in Middle East. And this gave a rise to state-sponsored cyber warfare. As you all knowing, with the growing tensions within Middle East, the situation is becoming worse. And this is giving a chance for the hacktivist group, for the state-sponsored espionage group to launch an attack on government organization, and they are doing a lot of stuff. They are actually monitoring the neighboring countries. They're spying. They are targeting military operations. They are targeting government entities with an aim to ultimately compromise their national critical infrastructure. Ransomware, cyber extortion are on the rise. As I mentioned, this is something very concerning. I have seen ransomware a decade before, but there are new TTPs being adopted by cyber criminals. So and cyber criminals, they see Middle East as a lucrative target because of the wealthy organization presence in our region. And these organizations mainly, who are they? So they are government customers, they are financial, the banking industries, large enterprises, and so on. So typically these cyber criminals, they are aiming with an objective to harm them, infiltrate them, and hijacks their vital systems and documents, right? With an ultimate goal is to obtain the ransom amount. So this is something really a critical area these days, and this is keep evolving with the new TTPs and so on. Human factor, the third one, which is always the weakest chain, as we all know, in any cyber attack, be if it is business email compromise or phishing email or a social engineering techniques, right? And this works very effective, by the way, because the attacker can easily hijacks the users by sending some crafted emails, so they can open, they can execute some macros enabled file, they can access to some malicious URL, and this is how it works, right? So 60% of the attack were successful, more than 60%, if I need to be very precise, and this is one of the biggest concerns we have. Emerging technologies, again, talking about AI, Internet of Things, they are making world more connected. But they're also introducing a lot of vulnerabilities because these systems are vulnerable, like for data theft, for denial of services attack, for phishing, and so on. And this could also have a very serious consequence in terms of launching ransomware attack and having a huge data breaches, right? Which will be a concern at the end for the organization who will suffer the losses. Critical infrastructure, this is again very, very key area. As we see here in the Middle East, we have a rich oil and gas reserve in many countries, be it is UAE, Saudi or Qatar. So the persistent attack coming from many cyber criminals, and these cyber criminals, they are very active in this region, especially targeting this segment, and the attack attributions, they are mainly associated with the Iranian hacking group or Ukraine or Russian, right? So they typically target this kind of industries and trying to harm the and making a more catastrophic outcome, so they can actually bring the infrastructure down. So these are the 5 key security threats we see in our region, Middle East. Okay, so what I have said until now, this is all about the attacks. The attacks are evolving, right? But how we are going to build a cyber warrior team to make sure that we are fully ready, right? So how are you building your cyber ready SOC team? I'm going to ask you a question in the later of this slide. But before that, I wanted to ask you, are you preparing your team by immersing them into a SANS-like courses where they cover the theoretical part and the hands-on aspect of different SANS training program, for example, like incident handler or SOC analyst, right? Or are you providing the on-job training, or are you building the in-house capabilities where your team can simulate labs on some 1 or 2 machines and make some research, right? I'm not saying those are not the right ways to enable your team, but if I ask you a $1 million question, is your team ready? If your CISO or if your board asks you, is your team ready? What will be your answer? Perhaps the answer may be a bit shaky because of so many reasons we have seen. So we want you to respond to a poll, and I want to see the responses from you, if you are in agreement or if you disagree. So team, can you please pull up the poll on a screen? So the poll number 1 is, can you be confident in certifying to your CISO or board that your team is fully prepared with the current training methodology? The answer is yes or no. So you have a chance, 10 seconds to respond to this poll.
All right, Shiraz, this is getting interesting. A majority of them are saying no, a huge majority. We'll wait for some more responses, some more time.
Yeah, this is what I was expecting.
But tell me, Shiraz, like while the poll is being answered, what prevents people from generally, preparing for such kind of investments? Why do they stop?
See, there are multiple reasons, right? Because the 3 examples which I mentioned, they are absolutely industries recognized way to enhance your team skills, but this will not be always up to date when we talk about the latest TTPs like techniques and procedures, right? So this keep evolving. So you have to cope with the latest attackers, attack vectors and techniques. Also, you need your team to immerse in a real team simulation exercise where you are going to see the real cyber attack behavior in the simulation, and you need to respond to it. So this is something a need of an hour. So you have to be one step ahead. You have to develop the mindset of like cyber advisory, because cyber advisory think very very smartly, not like us. So we need to be one step ahead. We need to learn in real simulation how the attacker works, right? So that's the reason.
Great, thanks. Let's move on. It was interesting, actually.
I'm sorry, the slides back. Okay, so what is missing? So I want to talk about with this current training methodology. No doubt the team, they are actually getting training, but there are still gaps, right? And we have to see what are these gaps. We wanted to have your team to immerse into the latest threat attack vectors. So this is something a need, right? We want your team to actually face a real attack, what you see in your SOC, right? So this is like you have like different APD groups, like APD 35, which is an Iranian hacking group targeting US, especially Middle East and Saudi Arabia as a region. So you need to learn how the APT 35 works. I'm giving an example. This is a charming kitten. One of the it's a nickname of this APT 35 group, but they are very very active in this region. Unless and until if you don't know how APT 35 works from a TTP's perspective, you will never be able to counter this kind of an attack. And there are attacks going in the Middle East because of the current geopolitical tension. So this is something must to have. Another example, like phishing. So we have talking a lot about phishing, but how you're going to actually see how the phishing attempt works, right? So we provide like a simulation where you need to well verse with all these techniques. So this is something you should really look at. The second thing is you need to work on a real commercial security tool. This is something the SOC team or the incident handler or any hands-on cybersecurity professional will definitely like it. Because what I've seen, people, they get a small mini network with 4 or 5 machines, right? And they try to simulate like a cyber range capabilities, but actually it is not. So so you need to have a capabilities where you will be using the real tools, what you use in your SOC. If you're a Splunk shop, let's say, or if you're an IBM QRadar, okay, you want those SIMs to be in the simulation to experience how the tools will work in the context of attack investigation. Different companies use different tools, right? Not possible, but at least you need to simulate some kind of a realistic environment to experience not only just the attack side, how you're going to do the investigation and mitigation, but also using a real commercial security tool. So this is something missing. Third thing is we want your team to get into the real cloud infrastructure. As we have seen in UAE or in Saudi or Bahrain, we have now AWS cloud, we have Azure, we have Google Cloud, right? But what happened, right? Because there are threats which are specifically targeting this cloud environment. And I have seen even now the oil and gas customers, they are gradually moving to this cloud environment because of the low cost of ownership, right? So there are definitely threats. What we see in the data center side, this is also applicable for the cloud side. So we want the team to really get into real cloud environment where they log into this platform, where they see the live attacks happening. For example, like AWS, you have EC2 console, you have S3 buckets, you have CloudTrails, right? How you're going to leverage all these tools in the context of an attack investigation? What do you have? Do you have Azure Sentinel as a tool for monitoring? Do you have Defender EDR solution so you can actually do your investigation much faster? So this is something we really need in today's society to counter to such attacks. The fourth thing here is we want your team to get into a live fire simulation exercise. And this is a game changer. The difference in the live fire here is because you need to have a real cyber attack scenarios which mimics the real attack behavior. And this can be anything. This can be insider threat, or this can be ransomware, right? And you will be presented with a scenario where the team will be collectively working towards a common objectives, meaning they will they will be doing the full investigation. They will be actually constructing the attack flow, and connecting the dots. And not only this, but they will really feel a pressure. This is something, when the incident happens in any organization, the situation is very worsened. So you have to be prepared. What is your incident response plan? What is your communication plan? How you are going to open up, pull your playbooks, right? So this is something where the team can rehearse the decision making process. They will develop the soft skills, as well as they will learn in and out of the cyber attack. So this is something definitely we needed. So these things, these four important elements in our opinion, which is definitely missing in the today's learning methodology used by many institution. And this is something the cyber team definitely is looking for if you want to face this AI powered attacks or APT or ransomware and so on. I want you to open up the polling question number 2.
Yeah.
So the question here is, are you of the opinion that conducting a real-world cyber attack simulation using the latest threat vectors and techniques is vital to meet today's training requirement? Are you in agreement? Are you saying yes or no? Or are you happy with the existing training methodology? I wanted to see the results.
Yeah, I think this is as much as you guessed. Remember, you were telling me yesterday that you probably suspect that close to 75% plus people do not have anything that would help them face a real world attack. I think that answer is coming up. I think it's now about 84% of the people are saying that they are not able to conduct a real world cyber attack simulation.
Yeah, and this is but obvious, right? Because I've seen many customers, they are actually just installing a very small environment. Let's say they have deployed any x86 server, and they have installed bunch of virtual machines and installing some tool. But that doesn't mean this will help you encountering the today's evolving threat, right? Because this is mainly from a research and testing perspective. Because what we want to actually provide is a real simulation where you have a large network, you have the attack going on, you have the live traffic coming. Example, like you have a SIM. So when you log into the SIM, let's say the use cases you have already predefined, they are popping up on your screen, you will see the alerts. And this is how then the attacks, the investigation goes from there, right? So this is something we want to make it more realistic. Good.
Shiraj, one aspect that I would like to put point on is management involvement. So I've been into crisis simulation situations, and I've been into tabletop exercises where the technical team is well versed with what needs to be done, but there are some parts where you need to communicate to the authorities, or you need to communicate to maybe media as to what the situation currently is. So how does this benefit to the management so that we are probably script ready for that situation?
Absolutely, it's a very good question, Dipesh. So we also have crisis management as an service, which I'm going to talk in my next slide. So what we do here, we just not only provide an exercises for the cyber team, but we also have the scenarios designed for the executive team. It's not like conventional tabletop exercise. We take the executives and we bridge the gap between the executive and the SOC team, so they are on the same page. So we are breaking the silos, right? And we are giving them and we are presenting them a situation where they are going to immerse into a scenario where they will be challenged from a decision-making process perspective, like how they are going to communicate with the internal, external stakeholders, and a lot of things like involving public relationship officer in order to liaise with the media and so on. So we do everything from a crisis management perspective, but not like a conventional tabletop exercise. We give a more immersive experience, and I'm going to talk in my next slide.
Excellent. Thanks, Shiraj.
Thank you. Okay, so here we go. Who we are. So Cyberbit as a company has been incorporated back in 2015, and we have been number one when it comes to Forrester Wave report. Like last year, back in 2023, Forrester Wave, they have released a report, and they have put Cyberbit as a leader in the quadrant, in their quadrant. So this is something we are very proud of. From a capabilities perspective, we are helping the organization to achieve the cyber resiliency. We see the organization maturity level. Where are they from an as perspective, and where they want to be from a target perspective. So we do everything, but mainly from the human element perspective. So this is one slide covering the entire capabilities what we do. Okay, so we help the organization in stitching the gaps of cyber skills, right? So it's a journey. We work with them. We provide them an interactive exercises through theoretical content, right? Where we make sure that they have a right content, they have a right knowledge in order to be and eligible for the cybersecurity career, right? So we help them, be if it is a ransomware or digital forensics or threat intelligence, right? So these are some of the areas I'm mentioning, but we take them from a journey from zero to hero. So we help them from a theoretical content perspective. Not only this, we don't stop here, but we go next step and we provide them hands-on exercises. So hands-on exercises is basically designed for upskilling, for our readiness, right? So we take the team, be if it is individual or a team, and we provide them based on the assessment. So how we do it, we do the assessment at the beginning, right? And we know where are the strengths and where are the areas for improvement, and then we assign the learning program where they can be an expert in like a few weeks or a month's time. So we have a very rich library from a content perspective. If you are an ethical hacker, you want to master your skills, you want to expert Active Directory services, hey, this is something for you. But this is an individual. So we give you an access to virtual machine, we give you access to labs, and depending upon what scenarios you are actually accessing, right? So you will be immersed using the real tools, what I've just talked about in my previous slide. So if you want to learn Splunk Enterprise Security, or if you want to learn Autopsy, which is one of the very famous digital forensics platform, right, to extract the IOCs and artifacts. So definitely we can help you on that front, right? Whether you are an OPSEC guy or you're a DevOps guy and you want to learn how you are going to actually build the source code using best practices, right? And obviously security is an integrated component. So we are going to teach you everything. Then the third pillar of our capabilities is the team exercise. This is a game changer. So we provide a team exercise. We have 60 plus team exercises, and these are scenarios where we take the team and we immerse them into a real situation. We give them an access to a very large network. I'm going to show you, by the way, during my demo, and they're going to see the live attack coming. They're going to see the live traffic, be if it is email traffic or any banning traffic like FTP traffic or user traffic and so on. So the idea here is to give you more realistic experience. It's a hyper realistic simulation platform. So now you have a chance to battle against the attack and see where are the gaps from your playbooks perspective, how you're going to think creatively, how you're going to handle the pressure, how you're going to collaborate internally with the team. This is something we need. I'll give you an example because I have done a lot of workshop with other customers, right? No doubt when I conducted the workshop, the team, they were very technical. So they somehow managed to complete the scenario. But what I really felt is missing is the soft skills. They might be very good when it comes to eyes on a glass, hands on a screen, but when it comes to how you collaborate with your colleagues during the incident, how you are escalating the incident to your leadership team, this is something a need, and this is where we comes into picture and help the organization. Executive exercise. We have 360-degree exercise where we bring the executive and the tech team under one virtual room, and we give them the scenario and and we learn and we practice critical non-technical skills, right? And this is more like from a cinematic experience perspective, because we just don't do like using PowerPoint slides, but what we really provide you as an immersive experience. So you will be facing a real cyber crisis scenario, okay, where you are going to expect a mock news stories. You are going to have like a live call from journalist. Okay, you will have some role player inside the room. You are going to see the different media format, which is making more interesting and put you in a lot of pressure, right? And we can assess a lot of areas, be if it is your risk area, what are the critical process you have in the organization, and what would you think that the any materializing the cyber attack on your business critical process from an impact perspective, right? So we can do a lot of things. Not only this, we have out of the shelf exercises, but we also provide more custom based scenarios. So what is your need? You tell us, we can do everything for you. It's like a consulting services, right? So we can design the scenario for you. So for example, we have did a lot of exercises like last year. Along with Cybersecurity Council, we have actually conducted a crisis management exercise as well as technical exercise along with the OIC member countries. So there were 57 countries participated, and this event happened in Abu Dhabi, in Rixos Hotel in Saadiyat Island. We had a privilege to recognize Cyberbit under Guinness World Record, but obviously thanks to Cybersecurity Council. And we did this exercise, like the theme of the exercise was like attack using Log4j vulnerability. So we did that. Recently, we had an exercise with the UK government, where the UK government and a lot of private entities, they actually being part of this exercise. And this is publicly available. You can go on YouTube, you can type Cyberbit UK government crisis management exercise. You will see. Or otherwise, I can share with you later. We have recently conducted a crisis management exercise with Olympics Paris 2000 this year, where we had simulated an attack where one of the supply chain based vendor was in a threat. If this specific threat, if materialized, what is going to happen? And this is like a big show, right? So they need to do a preparation. So this is something where we can help you. We have scenarios like insider threat, zero-day exploit, ransomware, or data breaches, and so on. So we can definitely tap this also. We are not just focusing on the SOC team side or the cyber team side, but the executive team is also our focus area. Okay, moving to a next question. This is going to be my second last slide, and then I prefer to join to the live demo and show you the case studies at the end. So in nutshell, my message here, how Cyberbit is going to help the organization. So the first one is the improve response time. Remember, in a cyber attack incident, time is of the essence, right? Where Cyberbit can help organization to identify your response protocol, right? And identify the gaps in the response protocol and make you more capable to respond to it. What are the gaps in security? This is the second one. So we can definitely work with you to identify what are the security gaps, which are mostly not be apparent during the regular operation. So we can tell you the gaps in your employees training program, or gaps in the communication channel, or weakness in your IT infrastructure, right? So we can help you in addressing those gaps before the real attack occurs. And this is something we need to enhance your security posture. The third thing is team coordination. So this is something very important. So incident response require a seamless collaboration between various departments, be if it is legal or IT or your leadership team, right? So Cyberbit crisis management exercise helps you in bridging those gaps. So each one of them, they know their responsibilities, who are they, and what they're going to do, and how collectively they are going to work during the cyber crisis incident. Okay. Validate IR plan. This is something a key from my side. So Cyberbit simulation exercise, validate your IR plan, and imagine and remember, your IR plan is only as good as a last test, right? So it needs to be continuously updated. Okay, so once you get into our simulation and practice, right, so you will come to know where are the gaps in your existing IR plan and procedure, right? So this is something where you can update and reflect to the evolving cyber threats. Meeting compliance requirement. This is very, very important. It is not just ticking the box, but there is a requirement from and there's a mandate from the regulators that this is something you need to work upon. Most of the organization, they used to have cyber drill as like a best practices, but now it's a regulatory requirement. Be if it is a Qatar NCSC framework, or let's say KSA SAMA, or in our UAE, we have UAI assurance, right? So you need to actually demonstrate to the regulator that you're serious about cybersecurity and you are taking proactive step to mitigate the cybersecurity risk, right? So these are 5 principles, 5 elements where Cyberbit can definitely help you with. Yeah, I'm going to my next slide. Okay, now this is preparing for success. There are metrics which will help you to prepare. Like you have to develop your MTDR, which is mean time to response and mean time to detect. So this is something where Cyberbit platform can provide you more visibility. You have to be on top. You have to learn in the context of industry standards, so like MITRE ATT&CK, NIST framework, and NICE framework. So this is something Cyberbit aligned with the industry standards. So what you are learning throughout the courses, all is industry standard. And
Shiraz,
yes,
Shiraz,
sorry.
sorry to interrupt you, but I mean, I just wanted to tell all the people who are there at the venue that the demos will be starting. If possible, Shiraz, if you can just get the demos and then probably tie it back to this slide, maybe that will help. If you can do that, please.
Sure. So let's get it. Let's get into the demo. Let me just show you here. Okay. I hope everyone can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. So this is the platform I was talking about. So there are multiple use cases, and so how Cyberbit is going to benefit each and every organization, right? From a learning experience perspective. You can see here, I'm going to keep my demo very high level, and then at the end, I'm going to show you live ransomware simulation. So you can see the platform is mapped with MITRE ATT&CK. We have nice case cities framework built in, where you are going to have a competency-based assessment for your team, for the technical as well as for the non-technical audiences. So this is something where definitely we can help you with. We have courses where we structured into a learning program and providing you a more better way for your team to learn. So we have courses where we talk about malware analysis, memory forensics, attack investigation on public cloud network, right? We have courses where we'll be for the beginners. We provide them courses like CompTIA. So we have content where we fully align with them, their curriculum, digital forensics, and so on. I'm just showing you at a high level. So a course like digital forensics, where the team, they will actually get in and out of digital forensics. We just not only give them the labs, but we start with the theoretical content, learning what is digital forensics, how you're going to preserve the artifacts, how you're going to maintain the chain of custody, and then jumping to the exercises where you are going to work with the real tools and you will be challenged, and this is where you are going to master it. So each of this program, it vary in terms of the number of units and number of hours. So for example, like digital forensics, this is like an 8-hour approximately in duration, and this is something you can assign to your team members. Not only we stop here, we have a very big content. It is impossible for me to show each and everything, but you can just glance it. We have like penetration testings, we have courses on OT security, we have memory forensics and virtualization security, and so on. Threat intelligence also. So we have very good threat intelligence program for the team who is actually cyber threat intelligence analyst. So we can assign this. We have courses for like basic role. We have courses based on MITRE ATT&CK. Just let me just I get lost here because of the cursor. Yeah, MITRE attack. We have courses for the cloud security workforce, and we have courses designed for the SOC roles like the L1 analyst, the threat hunter, or principal consultant. What is very interesting in this platform is what we offer are the 5 modules like crisis simulation, lab, spotlights, live fire simulation. I want to talk about, especially in this demo, is the live fire exercise. This is real scenarios. We give the team access to certain scenarios. You can see here we have a very huge catalog. We have scenarios where we talk about ransomware, 4-hour scenarios. We have insider threat as a scenario where the innocent employee is leaking company confidential information and selling this on a dark web. We have scenarios where you are going to experience live attack on OT. So any customers in this webinar, if you are belongs to the energy and oil and gas, so we have a lot of this content here. Let me show you how we do it. So this is a scenario. This is an OT supply chain. The threat coming from the supply chain, third-party supply chain, and it's targeting your oil refinery. What is unique here? It's a hyper-realistic environment. We have the attack flow. You can see at a high level, which is working on its own, no need to simulate any attack. And then you have the security controls, the blueprint, I mean. Each live fire scenario will give you an access to a real world corporate environment. What I wanted to show you, all this is a real machines. They are not simulated. It's an actual emulation. So if you see a domain controller action server, these are actual machines. You can log in part of the investigation. So you have different segments. You have firewall from Palo Alto. You have 2 firewalls. One is the internet-facing firewall and the LAN-facing. You have different zones here, like DMZ zone here, web applications hosted over here. Then you have OT firewall, which is connecting to the OT network, where you have the virtual PLCs installed. You have the engineering workstation. You have the HMIs. All these are live. You are going to actually do part of the investigation. And on top, what we do here is providing you the real tool. So you have Clarity, which is one of the very famous OT network visibility. It's like a packet broker solution. You have Splunk, you have McAfee, you have firewall from Palo Alto. So all these tools you are going to experience part of this attack. And just to show you more in detail, if I just wanted to show you what this scenario does and how it's going to simulate the entire OT oil refinery as a process. So just I'm showing you, and this is exactly you're going to face because because you will see different process. So this is the scenario, virtual OT network. This is the architecture we talked about. There are 3 processes like crude oil storage, distillation process, and at the end, the product storage and shipment. And if you see here, there are like PLCs, and all these PLCs, they are having some functionality. You have HMI. You are going to see how the treatment is going to work. You are actually seeing all this fan rolling live during this scenario. When you log into the HMI machine, there are buttons which you are going to play with it in order to change the setting of the PLCs, and you have actual distillation unit. So you are going to see live everything. The fire is booming up. So it's a fun. And imagine if your OT team can dwell in such exercise, because a lot of time you are only practicing the IT side, but also let's see the impact on the OT. This is just, I'm giving you one example. We have several type of these scenarios. Let me show you ransomware. We have at the moment 7 ransomware flavor, which we are very proud of. And these all 7 ransomware scenarios are using different techniques. Different techniques, okay, like Log4j vulnerability, AppSynolrad, attacks on Linux environment, and cross-site scripting, and so on. And each scenario, we give our customers options to select, okay, whether you can go with a Splunk, we can go with an IBM QRadar, or if you want to have with ArcSight. So you can pick and choose your own network. So that flexibility we provide, okay, during the exercise. So this is something, a need of the cyber team, and you can run this with a crisis simulation, or you can run this as a standalone exercise. And if you see here, the exercise is mapped with MITRE attack, You can see the nice case it is. So everything is experiencing in this exercise is with the industry standard. Okay. What I also wanted to show you here, the live simulation. So one thing, which is the tooling part, before we go to the live simulation. So we have most of the known security controls built in, be if it is Cortex, which is a SOAR platform from Palo Alto, CrowdStrike EDR, so Azure, Carbon Black. So you can pick and choose all these controls part of the exercises. Nobody will give you this experience. Honestly speaking, this is something the team need. So this is where we can help you with. We are also coming up with Elasticsearch. We have Google Cloud coming up very soon. So there are a lot of news you will hear in the near future. And this is something we are prioritizing in our nearby roadmap. So this is, we have most of the known control. I want to show you now a live ransomware simulation.
Shiraz,
Yeah.
I know we have very little time, but just one quick question that has come. The question is, would you be able to scale this up? Can you scale up simulations for more complex organizations and multiple departments? That's a question. If you can quickly answer this, and before you go to the next demo.
We have on-prem range where we can build your infrastructure and we can scale how you want, bring your own tools, deploy some more infrastructure possible. Yes. And simulate the attack on it.
Fantastic. Let's go.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna spend another 5 minutes on the ransomware, and then I'll keep it for the Q&A because the time is running. So this is the scenario. One of the ransomware scenario. When you log into the ransomware exercises, you will always have a story. There is something storyboard we can do for you, right? So in this exercise, you have been come to know by the help desk team, hey, your machine is acting strange. You have to look into it because you're a cybersecurity guy, right? Okay, so there are a lot of news here. We provide you the virtual network where you are going to actually, let me see I'm struggling with my cursor. Yeah, this is the network. And this is the machines, the breakdown of all the machines where you're going to access all the machines, all the networks, right? And here you have the mission phase. We follow completely NIST incident life cycle. So from a detection perspective, threat detection and monitoring, response, recovery, everything we will simulate here. So you have to go and add a findings here and provide all the relevant information. You have the sensors here, which checks what actions you took to stop the attack. So we give you controls like EDR, you have where you have to go and block the files or put access control list on firewall and stuff like that. So it's a live simulation. And you are going to access the SOC workstation. So it's a team exercise. We can go maximum up to 12 in a single session, but we can scale horizontally and go, there is no number. Okay. So each one of them, they will have access to SOC workstation. So I know here the CNT1 machine is acting strange. So if I'm a cybersecurity professional, I'm going to actually quickly see, okay, what is this CNT1? If I just see here CNT1 machine, I can see this is 100.12 machine, right? And I'm going to do a real RDP session so I can see if this is a real ransomware attack or something false positive.
Yeah. I just need to stop you. I think Zafar Khodar wants to ask a question. Do you want to chat it or do you want to speak about it, sir? I can see your hands raised. Sorry, continue, Shiraz.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to show you here is a real simulation. We are logging to the host machine and we are seeing the encryption node, right? And from an experience perspective now, if we go and validate whether this is a real ransomware attack, I can go here. I can see even all my documents are having some strange file extension. I can look to my file share server and I can see here a lot of my files in the FTP server are also encrypted. So this is something, a real simulation. Now your cyber team is going to actually investigate from a lateral movement perspective, the data exfiltration, if happened, they're going to use most of the tools they will have in this exercise. what is the entry point, how did the attack started, to complement to your investigation process. This is where now we provide you a real experience. So I'm just showing you one of the tool, like a Splunk. Okay, so if I just go here, now we are seeing the live Splunk platform. You can pick and choose based on the scenario what platform you need. If I log into a Splunk console, so this is a real Splunk enterprise security environment. You will see the alerts, notable alerts showing you, and you can do your own search queries. So I just wanted to show you like a bit of, in detail, but very quick in 2 minutes, because it's not possible for me to show each and everything. It's like a 4.5 hour scenario. So let me just show you here. So if I just I've just kept some handy Splunk command just to show you. So once you get into such investigation, right? So you have Splunk in this exercise, you have EDR, McAfee EPO, you have Cortex, right? And you are going to actually see everything, the live, how they are communicating with, and so on. So you can actually click here. You can see, yes, there's a FTP communication going to the attacker IP address 99%. So it's a confirmed data exfiltration is taking place. Not only this, like the scenarios where we simulate a defense evasion techniques where the attacker is trying to delete everything from the machine, be if it is event logs or uninstalling the products. So let me show you in this exercise, like the attacker, he is trying to play very smart and he's trying to uninstall all the security controls from the network so that nobody can trace him. Okay, so if I'm just putting a query related to the Windows event logs, and this is something showing me up, and it's a live environment. The logs are coming from different part of the network. It's correlated, normalized, and you have the use cases already defined. So you can see here, you can go and you can see the top values, and you can see here from a console perspective. So the Windows installer, the McAfee, the lot of controls have been uninstalled because there are like PowerShell script running by the attacker who is trying to do some defense evasion techniques. You can go to the event waiver. You can also see the logs are uninstalled. Not only this, for example, we simulate up to an extent where, for example, if you want to see a firewall setting here, so let's go here, okay? And the attacker, he's trying to control your machine. He's trying to actually blocks all the ports so nobody can trace him. So you can see everything from a port perspective block except the port, let's say 3389, which is an RDP, and some commercial utility for the communication. So I'm not getting into detail, but this is how we simulate from an attack perspective, right? There's a lot of fun in this exercise. We have great exercises for you. Whatever the industries you belong to, we have use cases for financial institution, for oil and gas, energy, for enterprise. Also for other verticals, we have scenarios, and definitely this is something a must-have in today's era, because this is going to help your cyber defenders to build that required capabilities. So I'm not getting into detail. Time is of essence. If you have any like a need, we can talk offline. Paramount is our partner. We can set up a meeting with you. We can give you a demo. We can run some show with you, so you will better understand the capabilities here. Yeah. So Mukund, do you have?
So I think,
Can you please?
yeah, no, I think there are a couple of points. I think there was one question on the commercials for this. I think it was a question asked by Mr. Damba. I think we will get back to you with the commercials, and we've noted your name. Obviously, we have your email ID. We will reach out to you. If there is anybody else who are a little more interested, just ping in your name or your message, and then we will call you back, and then we will connect with you. But I think what Dipesh wanted to do was just give you, I mean, as a cybersecurity consultant who works on a lot of these strategic consulting opportunities, Dipesh, I thought, wanted to set the context and probably give a conclusion around it. So Dipesh, over to you. If you can just talk to us for about 2 or 3 minutes, and then we can conclude the webinar. Over to you, Dipesh. And please, we are happy to answer questions. Do not worry about the time. We will have time for your questions. Please go ahead and ask any questions that you have. We will answer them.
Thank you, Mukund. Thank you, Shiraz. I know that brings us to the end of the session. I hope everyone gets a clear understanding of how stimulations like this, prepare your team for unexpected. Just like in probably military or pilot training, it's all about being battle tested, right? The more you practice under control environment, the more you'll better perform when real cyber crisis strikes. So, remember in cybersecurity, it's probably not just about having the right tools and really right strategies. It's about probably being ready when probably the pressure is on. The about how you respond to critical movements and being probably battle tested. Thank you for your time today, and probably big thanks to Mr. Shiraz and the team for guiding us through some examples and really real time scenarios that Shiraz has been in the center of those situations. And let's stay prepared and stay resilient, and let us make sure that we are ready for whatever it comes. Thank you, everyone. Mukund, over to you.
Okay. Right. Any questions? Anybody? We will be happy to take those questions. Shiraz, is there anything that you forgot to tell us and you want to make that comment now? Is there anything that way?
I think we have covered everything what we can do in this 1 hour session. So the message I think is clear. If there are any questions, I'm happy to take that.
Fine. Let's wait for some more time. 1 second. I think there's a question. Yeah, I think there is. I think there was one more poll question. If that's there, it's fine, or else it's okay, I think.
Yeah, there is the poll here.
Yeah, I think how
So-
important it is to have a real security question. I think
Yeah.
there's one.
So what do you think if I ask you from your opinion perspective? So is it a must to have the real security tool for your cyber team? So the answer is yes or no. If you can just respond to this last poll.
Hey, thanks a lot. I think we did get a lot of comments about the demos and the presentation. Thanks a lot. All of you appreciated this. We'll be again happy to circle back with you. You will get a copy of these presentations emailed to you. And yeah, we just wait for another minute before we kind of conclude the session.
Sure. So can we get to know what are the response for the last poll?
Yeah, look, about 100% of them have said yes. Yes, it is important to have a real security tool. There's nobody who said no. So
It's good. Yeah, this is what I was expecting. Yeah, so I think we are done. Unless Mukund, if you have anything to
no,
say.
we don't have questions. We seem to have answered them.
So I really appreciate the audience for joining today. It's really a great pleasure for us to interact with you and show you the challenges especially within our region, Middle East, and also at the globe level, and what is the need of the market. How you're going to actually help your team to face this latest cyber threats, right? So definitely we are here to help you. Gamal and myself, we are based out of UAE. I look after the entire META region. So definitely, if you have anything, connect me through LinkedIn or just connect through Paramount. They are our partners, so we can definitely have a next level conversation with you.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks everybody. We loved the audience and the participation. We'll get in touch with you. Please feel free to write back to us. It's mukund at paramountassure.com. We'll be happy to answer your questions.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you,
everyone.
Mukund, for organizing this. Thank you, Dipesh. Thank you, Gamal.
Thanks,
everyone.
Gamal. Thanks, Shiraz. Thanks to you.
Bye.
Bye.